Okay, so today we're going to talk about something serious. We're digging deep, way past the Hollywood action scenes and the shiny medals, to get at the real story of a Navy SEAL. We're going to break down what it actually costs, the true cost of earning and then living with that trident.
So let me ask you, what does it really mean to be a Navy SEAL? I bet you've got a picture in your head, right? Some kind of super soldier, straight out of a movie. But that's not the whole story. Not even close. Let's really get into it.
I mean, you've seen the movies, you've probably read the books. There's this massive culture built around these guys, painting this picture of just nonstop action and this superhuman, unbreakable will.
But here's the thing they don't show you. There's a price, a really deep and a lot of times hidden cost that you're never going to see in those films. So today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the real, totally unfiltered price of that life. All right, so where does it all start? It starts in a place that's become legendary for its brutality. It's called BUD/S, or Basic Underwater Demolition/SEAL Training. This is where it all begins. This is the story of the candidate.
You know, every single guy who shows up there in Coronado, California with a fresh buzz cut, they all think the same thing. They think that just wanting it bad enough, that pure willpower, is going to be enough to get them through. But the instructors, they know the truth. It's not going to be enough. Nope, not even close.
Okay, look at this number, 185. Let that sink in. That's how many guys are standing with you on day one of your BUD/S class. You're in a room packed with the toughest, most physically fit guys the Navy could possibly find.
And then look at this. This is how many are left standing when it's all said and done. 34. The dropout rate is it's absolutely insane. And you have to understand, that's not a bug. It's a feature. It is 100% by design.
Literally everything they make you do, from running for miles in the soft sand with your heavy boots on to holding a 200-pound log over your head for what feels like an eternity, it's all built for one reason and one reason only: to make you quit. And that infamous brass bell, it's just sitting there, always waiting. You ring it 3 times, and that's it. Your dream is gone. And guys do it. I mean, even the strongest guy in your class, the one you thought was a machine, he eventually quits. He rings that bell, grabs a donut, and watches you suffer.
And if all that wasn't enough, then comes Hell Week. This timeline, it really says everything you need to know. For 5.5 days straight, you do not stop moving. You'll run more than 200 miles, and you'll do it on maybe 4 hours of sleep total for the whole week. By Wednesday, your mind just snaps. You start hallucinating. You see guys having full-on conversations with people who just aren't there. See, it stops being about who's the strongest. It becomes about who can completely shut off that part of their brain that's just screaming, begging them to stop.
But here's the crazy part. You survive all that. You actually make it through BUD/S. They pin that trident on your chest, and it's not the finish line. Man, it's not even close. It's the starting line. Because now, you're the new guy, and you've got to earn your place all over again.
And as the new guy, let's be clear, you're nobody. The guys on your team, they've got scars. They have combat deployments under their belts. And that right there, that's the only currency that means anything. So your job? It's simple. You shut your mouth, you carry the heaviest stuff, you clean guns that aren't even yours, and you learn. By watching, in silence.
Then it happens. Your first deployment. Your first actual firefight. It only lasts for 11 minutes. But in your head, it feels like 11 hours. Time just completely warps. You hear that sound, that snap of rounds zipping past your head. It's like a tiny sonic boom, and it's from a bullet that came inches from ending your life. And after it's over, you look down, and your hands, they just will not stop shaking. The platoon chief, he sees it. He doesn't say a word. He knows, because his hand shook once too.
So a few deployments go by and something changes. You're not the new guy anymore. You've made that transition. You're now a seasoned operator, and your whole life is about honing your skills to a razor's edge.
Your life starts to fall into this rhythm. You specialize. Maybe you decide to become a breacher, the guy who's an expert in explosive entry. You master the actual science of it. You learn the exact amount of C4 you need to blow a door's hinges without sending deadly shrapnel flying through the whole room. Then you deploy. And the missions, they just start to blur together. Find them, fix them, finish them. That's it.
And right here, this is the fundamental trade-off of the job. You get unbelievably good at controlled violence. You can clear a room in 3 seconds flat. But that skill, it comes with a huge cost. You get worse at, well, everything else.
You can't even sit through a normal dinner with your family without subconsciously scanning every exit, analyzing every single face in the room. You're changing, and you don't even see it happening.
Okay, now we need to talk about the one battlefield that almost nobody ever mentions, but it's the one where the casualties are often the highest. We're talking about the impact on your family.
Just look at this. Some estimates put the divorce rate inside the SEAL community at nearly 90%. 90! That's a staggering number. And this is the cost that breaks more operators than combat ever will. Think about it. 6-month deployments, again and again. The constant threat of danger. And every time you come home, you're a little bit of a different person. It takes an absolutely impossible toll.
And then you get a moment like this. A moment that's just heartbreaking. Your little girl's teacher asks her to draw a picture of all the people who live in her house. And you aren't in the picture. And it's not because she forgot you. It's because, in her mind, you don't really live there. You live in team rooms. You live on airplanes. And let me tell you, that drawing, it hurts way more than any bullet ever could.
So if you make it through all of that, if you survive it, you might make it to Chief Petty Officer. And now the game changes again. You're not just an operator anymore. You're a leader, and you are directly responsible for the lives of your men.
But the reality of being a chief is not what you see in the movies. Not at all. It's this. It's paperwork. It's training schedules, and equipment maintenance, and readiness reports that never seem to end. You basically become an administrator who, every once in a while, gets to go kick down a door. But all that boring, unglamorous work, that's what keeps your guys alive.
And by this point, your body is it's a wreck. It's paying the price for all those years. Your knees creak from literally thousands of parachute landings. Your back is in constant pain from lugging around 80-pound packs. You can't hear very well out of one ear because a breaching charge went off a little too close. You're living on a diet of ibuprofen, and every time you see a medic, you say, "I'm fine." But you're not, and everybody knows it.
And so you get near the end of a long career. And that's when the full weight of that trident on your chest and all the sacrifices you made to get it and keep it, it all becomes crushingly, painfully clear.
You start going to more funerals. But now, they're different. They're not all for guys killed in combat anymore. Now, you're going to funerals for friends who took their own lives. Guys who survived the war over there, but they just couldn't survive the war inside their own heads when they got home. And that silent battle, it becomes one of the most haunting parts of this whole thing. So, it all comes back to that one question, doesn't it? What is the final cost of the trident? It's way more than just the physical toll on your body. It's your family, it's your relationships, it's your peace of mind. It's having to carry memories that you can never, ever share. And it's living with a kind of silence that never, ever really goes away.
And yet, the cycle never stops. Right now, as we speak, there's a new class of guys forming up on that same beach in Coronado. They don't have a clue about the true cost yet. All they know is that they're not going to quit. And for the few who actually make it, the journey we've just laid out, well, it's waiting for them. Because in the end, the ocean, it doesn't care. And that bell, it just waits.